Hello, today's August 29th, 2020. Today we're going to be going over my election 2020 prediction for the United States. Donald Trump versus Joe Biden. I think everyone knows this at this point. In case you didn't know, this color means safe, which is 15% or more for Trump in November. This means 7 to 14.9 points. And this means 2 to 6.9 points, and then this is 1 point or 1.9 points or under. Just so you know my characterizations. So yes, obviously Idaho, Wyoming, North Dakota, South Dakota, Oklahoma, Arkansas, Tennessee, Kentucky, West Virginia, not Tennessee actually, um, and Nebraska at large, Nebraska's first district, Nebraska's third district. So those are and Alabama. Those are all states that'll go to Trump by over 15%. Recently, I've been putting Utah as a safe state despite the oddly close polling here. But then Evan McMullen, I think, he ran in 2016 and he got 20% in Utah. If Hillary had Evan McMullen's votes in Utah, then Hillary would have won the state, not the election. But it's crazy how Hillary could have gotten the independent vote or the Green Party vote there and would have won. But now I do think, I mean, since Trump only won it by 20 points and Evan McMullen endorsed Biden, and Biden does better among Republicans, and Republicans don't like Trump as much as they did, then I think that Utah will be likely now again. Get ready to see some semi-close polling. Like under, 15 points, definitely. Montana went to Trump by 21 points. Expected to narrow up, especially since it's the blue trending state. These other states I'm filling in are just states that are narrowing up because I guess Biden does well in these kind of areas, not because they're blue trending states. Actually, Missouri is a blue trending state, but it'll still go to it'll still go to Trump by a likely margin. South Carolina, Louisiana, and Mississippi are blue trending states. They will probably go blue within the next 2 or 3 elections. Maybe not Alabama. Oh, Louisiana, I meant. Definitely not Alabama. Alaska also will probably go blue within the next few elections. And maybe Missouri as well. But states like Indiana and Tennessee, these are probably safe Republican states, but technically not safe because they will probably go to Trump by under 15 points. I believe Tennessee went by like 20 something. I just see these places narrow up, at least according to the polls and approval and stuff. Like Louisiana and Mississippi both have the same +8 approval rating of Trump. That's it. If it was +8 for Trump on election day, that would be almost a lean margin for Trump. They could actually look like this, which it won't this election, but expect in 2024 to Mississippi and then South Carolina to look like lean or tilt like that. Because there was last poll in South Carolina was like four. Last two polls in South Carolina were 4 and 7 points for Trump. That's an average of 5.5, which is a lean margin. Safe states for the Democrats, which again means 15% or more: Washington, California, Hawaii, New York, Vermont, Massachusetts, Connecticut, Rhode Island, New Jersey, Maryland, and DC, and Illinois. If you didn't know, in 2016, New Jersey, Connecticut, and Rhode Island both went to Trump. Oh no, both went to Hillary by under 15 points. Also, Delaware did the same. So these were all technically likely states in 2016. But Trump is doing way worse than he was. And New Jersey's actually the highest it's ever polled for Democrats in the past 20 years, including Obama in 2008, which he had a landslide. Um, Rhode Island has like a negative 30 something approval of Trump. Definitely expect that to go by pretty good amount, over 15 points. Connecticut, I just see being slightly less close than it was, but it's Connecticut. I mean, it's pretty safe anyway. Delaware, I know Biden served as a senator there. He was born in Pennsylvania, I believe, but in Delaware, yeah, he was born in Pennsylvania, I'm sure. In Delaware, he served as a senator, I believe. I know he served as a senator in Pennsylvania or Delaware, and I know he's born in Pennsylvania. That's sorry, I'm so sorry, I don't know. But no, Delaware went to Hillary by 12 points, and Biden is only leading there by 17 points as of now, and probably because Trump's huge convention bump he just got, like, I mean, it narrowed up like 3, 4 points on average. Based on the bump Trump got, it'll probably go likely, which I've been keeping as likely for like a month and a half now. Anyway. Oregon, same story as Connecticut, was likely in, or I guess same story as Rhode Island, trending blue, trending more blue than it ever was, and went as likely in 2016, if that makes any sense, hopefully. Virginia, Colorado, and New Mexico, I expect New Mexico to go to Biden by like 10 points, and Colorado to go to Biden around 8 to 10 points. Virginia to go to Biden around 6 to 9 points. So basically, all likely margins. Biden's leading by over 10 in all of these states right now, despite Trump's convention bump. But there hasn't really been any polls since. It's more so just 538 averages. But technically, right now, Biden is still leading by over 10 points there in all of these three states. Michigan and Pennsylvania before I had as, oh, and I believe Wisconsin I had as likely blue, which means over 7 points. But again, like I said, Trump's convention bump was a little bit delayed, like a few days delayed. But now I expect these states to go to Biden by way less of an amount. These states are now back in play for Donald Trump. He should start bringing back ads in Michigan and Pennsylvania, which he stopped doing. He basically gave up there. He said he was going to stop Michigan and Pennsylvania, and the Trump campaign stopped spending money there because they needed to spend money in keeping states like Arizona, Florida, Georgia, North Carolina, Texas, Ohio. Speaking of convention bumps in North Carolina is now a tilt red state. It's only up one for Biden, but in the past poll was also for Biden. But in my opinion, I think it'll go red, because of the few polls before, and the fact is how it's narrowing up so quickly in Trump's convention bump, and how it's starting the vote soon, on the 4th. I just expect North Carolina to go tilt red, or maybe lean red as well. It's weird having. Actually, no, I don't know why I didn't put these back as likely. But yeah, that is tilt. Uh, these states I all had. Well, actually, I had Biden winning after the Democratic convention in Ohio, but now I expect um, these states to look like this in 2016. So anywhere from 2 to like 5 or 6 points. Trump won Ohio by 8 points, Iowa and Texas by 9, and Georgia by 5.5. Those are pretty good amounts. I mean, Georgia was lean, and then this looked likely, this looked likely, this looked likely, but now it's looking like that. Still better for Trump because Biden at one point, I mean, Biden was leading in Ohio and Texas at the same time for like 2 weeks. He was leading in Ohio by a lean margin at one point, but now Trump has reclaimed his lead in these states, and it's very important that he keeps the lead there. Maine's first district is over 30 points for Biden right now, expected to go over 15. Definitely not going to be close. Recently, Trump has been visiting Michigan and New Hampshire. I think he's doing pretty well in these states as the more he campaigns. These are very influential states, by the way. The more he campaigns in these states, the better he's been doing. So, I mean, I had Minnesota as likely or lean. Now I'm putting it as a tilt Democrat. And you could expect to see it as tilt Democrat until the election day, or maybe a lean Republican. I think if Minnesota goes red, it's over for Biden. But as of now, I do expect New Hampshire to be lean and Minnesota to be likely. No, I meant tilt. Nebraska's 2nd district, I expect to go to Biden by a lean margin now. Trump will not campaign here, nor will Biden, because it's one electoral vote. It's a waste of time, because you could be focusing on Florida, which I still think Biden will win, but by a tilt margin, which is 29 times as important as Nebraska's 2nd district. Arizona, 11 times as important. Nevada, 6 times as important. I mean, these states are way more important than they are for that one Nebraska's district. So yeah, I do think Nevada, Arizona, and Florida will be really close. Maybe not Nevada because it went to Hillary by 2.5, which is a lean margin. But I do think Biden will only lead here by around 4 to 5 points. I expect them to win Arizona by under 2 points and Florida by under 2 points. I do expect Biden to carry Maine at large, which is the popular vote in Maine, by a lean margin. So, I mean, it was likely last week. Just keep that in mind. Trump is doing way better than he was. Trump has a chance now. This was a huge week for Trump. This has now put his campaign back in play for the presidency. So if you're a Trump supporter, congratulations. There you go. Trump is back in, so if you had doubts about the polls, Trump is back in. Maine at large, I expect to go also for Trump right now because of the fact that it went to him by over 10 points. Biden is leading by 1 in 3 of the polls here. Trump is also leading by 1 in 1 of the polls. But even though Biden leading by 1 in more of the polls, the most recent one shows Trump winning, and that was before the convention bump he just got. So expect Maine at large to go, Maine's 2nd district to go likely or lean, probably lean for Trump. This has been my electoral 2020 my electoral college 2020 United States presidential election prediction. Thank you guys for watching. Goodbye. See you probably next week or this week sometime.